Meg from the Westchester Public Library in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And today we are going to be spending some time together talking, reading, singing, and playing all about vegetables. Do you like vegetables? Vegetables are really good for you. They have all kinds of vitamins and nutrients in them that give you energy to play and help you to grow. And look at all the different colors and shapes that vegetables come in. I wonder how many of these vegetables you've tried before. Here are some beautiful orange carrots and a red pepper. It's kind of bumpy. And these are crispy, crunchy radishes and yellow squash. Squash is a good way to add crunch to your sandwich. And I have a dark green, bumpy cucumber, delicious broccoli, one of my favorites, celery, which is really tasty if you put some cream cheese on it. And I wonder if you know what this vegetable is. This vegetable is called an eggplant, which is funny because it doesn't look anything like an egg. And you can find eggplant in different colors too, sometimes purple or white. And last, I have an onion, which is really good for putting in all sorts of soups and stews. What kind of vegetables do you like?
My favorite vegetable is green beans, carrots, and peppers. Broccoli and beans. My favorite vegetable is edamame. Broccoli and carrot. My favorite vegetable is green beans and broccoli.
Make at least one snack a day with vegetables. You could try carrots or celery sticks with plain yogurt dip, red peppers and hummus, or sweet and crunchy snap peas.
Hi everybody, I'm Miss Trina with the Westchester Public Library. So glad you're here with us today. So let's get started. Let's get our fingers out. I wiggle my fingers. I wiggle my toes. So wiggle your toes. I wiggle my ears. And I wiggle my nose. I wiggle my shoulders. Can you wiggle your shoulders? I wiggle my chin. I stretch my arms wide and I bring them back in. Give yourself a big hug. I wiggle my elbows. I wiggle my knees. Wiggle your knees. I hop like a bunny. And I smile and say cheese. My wiggles are gone. I'm as still as can be. I'm sitting down now. Read a story with me. We are going to read a book called Muncha, 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 written by Candace Fleming, illustrated by G. Brian Karras, with permission by Simon & Schuster Publishers. And here is Muncha, Muncha, Muncha. For years, Mr. McGreely dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, of growing yummy vegetables, and of gobbling them all up. But he never once tried it until this spring, said Mr. McGreely. This spring, by golly, I'm going to plant a garden. So he hoed and he sowed and he watched his garden grow. Lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes. Yum, yum, yummy, said Mr. McGreely. I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies. But one night, when the sun went down and the moon came up, 3 hungry bunnies appeared. Tippy, tippy, pat! Muncha, muncha, muncha! The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. "There," he declared, "no bunny can get into my garden now." And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy-tippy-pat, spring, hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. "Humph," he huffed, "those flop ears will never get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now." And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy-tippy-pat, dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, spring, hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was really, really angry. So he made a deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. "Ha!" he snorted. "Those pufftails can't get under it. They can't get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now." And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy-tippy-pat, dive, paddle, splash, 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 dig, scrabble, scratch, 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 spring, hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chomped blossoms, his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was furious. So he hammered and blocked, sawed and stalked, drilled and filled and trapped and locked. And he built a huge, enormous thing before the deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. "I've outsmarted those twitch whiskers for sure," he exclaimed. "They can't get through it, they can't get under it, and they can't get over it. No bunny, no way, no how can get into my vegetable garden now." And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy-tippy-tippy, "Stop!" The 3 hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them, and tippy-tippy-pat, the bunnies hopped away. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his untouched vegetables, he was happy. "I beat the bunnies," he whooped, and it did a jiggly-wiggly victory dance. Then he climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. "Ah," sighed Mr. McGreely, "at last." Smacking his lips, he picked and pulled up lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes, and with his basket overflowing, he reached inside for something yummy. Muncha, muncha, muncha! The end.
Add crunch to a sandwich with lettuce, tomato, or cucumbers. There's something in my garden. Now what can it be? There's something in my garden that I really can't see. Hear its funny sound? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. A frog is what I found. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. There's something in my garden. Now what can it be? There's something in my garden that I really can't see. Hear its funny sound? Thump, thump, thump. A rabbit is what I found. Thump, thump, thump. There's something in my garden. Now what can it be? There's something in my garden that I really can't see. Hear its funny sound? Squeak, squeak, squeak. What do you think makes that sound? A mouse is what I found. Squeak, squeak, squeak. There's something in my garden. Now what can it be? There's something in my garden that I really can't see. Hear its funny sound? Chirp, chirp, chirp. A bird is what I found. Chirp, chirp, chirp. There's something in my garden. Now what can it be? There's something in my garden that I really can't see. Hear its funny sound? Buzz, buzz, buzz. What makes the sound buzz? It's a bee. A bee is what I found. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Fresh, frozen, and canned vegetables are all good sources of nutrients. Buy whatever best fits your budget or what's in season. Eating healthy foods like vegetables is really important, but it's also important for your body to get exercise, and it's important to make sure you take time to move every day. So let's take a movement break right now. Let's pretend that we've grown a lot of vegetables, and now it's time to pick them. So our green beans are growing on a really tall vine. So we have to jump, jump, jump to reach those green beans on the vine. Let's do it again. Jump, jump, jump. Now it's time to get our carrots. Carrots grow in the ground. So we have to bend over and pull the carrots out of the ground. Let's do that together. And bend and pull. Pop! Look at that beautiful carrot. Let's do one more. Bend and pull and pop! A delicious carrot. Can you roll on the ground like a pumpkin? Make yourself into a little ball, a little round pumpkin ball, and roll around. And now that we have all of our vegetables, let's chop them. Chop, 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 chop. Can you chop them faster? Ready? Chop, 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 chop. How about even faster? Here we go. Chop, 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 chop. Great job. Doesn't that feel good to move? We are reading Soup Day, written and illustrated by Melissa Iway with permission from Henry Holt and Company. Soup Day by Melissa Iway. I see a little girl looking out the window at the snow. Today is Soup Day. I help Mommy pick out the vegetables. She says it's important to choose the freshest ones with the brightest colors. This is what we put in our basket. 1 bunch of crispy green celery, 2 shiny yellow onions, 3 long orange carrots, 4 smooth tan potatoes, 5 tiny dark green zucchini, 6 big white mushrooms. Oops, we almost forgot the parsley. Back at home, we wash the vegetables. Then Mommy chops everything into different shapes. The celery and onions become tiny squares. The carrots become circles. The potatoes become cubes. The parsley becomes confetti. Do you know what confetti is? It's like little teeny tiny pieces. I get to cut the mushrooms and zucchini with a plastic knife because they are soft. Mommy helps my hand. We pour oil into the big soup pot and Mommy cooks the onions, celery, and carrots together. This makes them soft. They sizzle in the oil. Can you hear them? Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Then we fill the big pot with broth. Sss. It makes a loud sound. I help put in the rest of the vegetables. Mommy covers the pot and we wait. For a while, we make a city. We read to each other. Then we have to escape from a big monster. Is it really a monster? I don't think so. Before long, our home smells like yummy soup. Mommy checks the pot. We hear the soup bubbling inside. She tastes it. It needs a little something, she says. Mommy adds some spices. Shake, shake, shake. Now I get to choose which kind of pasta to add to the soup. Angel hair, fettuccine, farfalle, pastina, rotini, elbow macaroni, or alphabet noodles. I pick alphabet noodles because I like to eat the letters. Sometimes they make words. What kind of pasta would you put in your soup? While we wait for the noodles to cook, we clean up our city. We return the books to the bookshelf. We put the monster to sleep. And then Daddy's home. Now it's time to eat our soup. Mommy lets me sprinkle the confetti parsley on top. It looks like green snow. I love soup day. And here's a recipe for cooking your own vegetable soup. That would be something fun to try. Soup Day by Melissa Iway. The end. Try growing vegetables in containers. Eating vegetables they've grown themselves is a big motivator for kids. Let's pretend we're going to grow our own vegetables. Get ready to plant your seeds. The gardener plants the seeds. The gardener plants the seeds. Hi-ho, the garden, ho, the gardener plants the seeds. The water sprinkles down, the water sprinkles down. Hi-ho, the garden, ho, the water sprinkles down. The sun begins to shine, the sun begins to shine. Hi-ho, the garden, ho, the sun begins to shine. The plants begin to grow, the plants begin to grow. Hi-ho, the garden, ho, the plants begin to grow. The gardener picks the crops, the gardener picks the crops. Hi-ho, the garden, ho, the gardener picks the crops. We all sit down to eat, we all sit down to eat. Hi-ho, the garden, ho, we all sit down to eat. Thank you for reading, talking, singing, and playing with us today about vegetables. If you want to continue the fun at home, we have some activities you can download from our website. The first is this scavenger hunt. Color the vegetables here, cut them out, and hide them around the room. Then give your child the shopping list and show them every time they find a vegetable to check it off on the list. We also have a fun sheet for your family, which is from the National Heart, Lung, Blood Institute from their Eat, Play, Grow curriculum. It has tips for adding vegetables to your family's diet, and it also has goal setting and different types of vegetables and recipes to try. Thank you to Pennsylvania Forward of the Pennsylvania Library Association. PA Forward supports libraries in improving health literacy in their communities. We'd also like to thank the network of the National Library of Medicine and the National Institute of Health's All of Us research program, which is collecting and studying health data from 1 million people living in the United States to create better health for all of us. So let's sing a song to say goodbye. See you later, alligator, in a while, crocodile. Give a hug, ladybug, blow a kiss, jellyfish. See you soon, big baboon, out the door, dinosaur. Take care, polar bear, wave goodbye, butterfly. Goodbye.